guys! Welcome to Fun and Learning with me, Teacher Danny. For today's episode, we are going to visit several ecosystems which are the spray zones and the intertidal zone. And we are going to visit several organisms living in this area. So, what are we waiting for? Come on, let's go! Remember where the land and sea meet? A unique ecosystem contends with the rise and fall of the ocean's tides each day. This area is called the Intertidal Zone or the littoral zone. The organisms within the intertidal zone possess special adaptations to contend with the challenges of this ecosystem. The intertidal zone marks the area where the ocean and land meet. This unique ecosystem maintains an important balance for the food chain, supplies erosion protection, and serves as an indicator for climate change. The intertidal or littoral zone definition is the general area where the ocean meets the land. The intertidal zone can exist in either sandy or rocky beaches. Subcategories describe the different portions of the intertidal zone. These include the spray zone, high intertidal zone, middle intertidal zone, and low intertidal zone. In the spray zone, the highest level of the intertidal zone is where the beach is splashed by salt spray but never fully submerged by the sea. Since much of the spray zone is land, animals and plants that call it home are adapted to more air and all manner of weather. The high intertidal zone becomes inundated during high tides. At low tides, this area is exposed for long enough that resident organisms must be adapted to living outside the water. The middle intertidal zone is typically covered with seawater, At low tide, however, this area is exposed. This is an area of greater animal and plant diversity, and organisms are adapted to more water. In the low intertidal zone, this zone experiences exposure to air during the absolute lowest tides, and therefore organisms within it are used to living under the sea. Any littoral zone organism must withstand various challenges in such a dynamic environment. There are both challenges and advantages for a littoral zone organism in this ecosystem. Every littoral zone organism possesses the adaptations necessary to survive in its respective region of the intertidal zone. An organism adapted only for land or only for the deep ocean might not thrive in the intertidal zone. A littoral zone organism can withstand various elements such as pounding surf and drying out at low tide. Special holdfasts, such as those in kelp, prevent the waves from removing them from their substrate. Barnacles use a type of cement to stay attached to rocks. The same features can potentially prevent predation. The disadvantages of being a littoral zone organism include predation. Predation by mobile animals such as birds, mammals, and fish, and being exposed to the air for too long can harm some organisms. Animals such as mussels and barnacles are able to keep some water in their shells to withstand such exposure. Now, changes in water chemistry or oxygen levels threaten the delicate balance a littoral zone organism uses to survive. Climate change and its resultant sea level changes could threaten creatures adapted to one portion of the intertidal zone. Now, why is the intertidal zone important? Now, the intertidal zone or littoral zone maintains a balance between the land and the sea. It provides a home to specially adapted marine animals and plants. Those organisms in turn serve as food for many other animals. Now, the intertidal zone is also an important indicator for climate change on marine organisms. Satellite imagery reveals a loss of intertidal communities. A spike in temperature can lead to die-offs, creating a catastrophic effect in the food chain. Now, most organisms in the intertidal zone are only adapted to a particular temperature range. Researchers are taking a closer look at temperature changes in the intertidal zone ecosystems of the world. The intertidal zone is a delicate ecosystem, threatened by rising sea levels due to climate change. Development by humans threatens the intertidal zone as well. Changes in the temperature due to climate change also threaten the organisms outright. Now, the intertidal zone is also susceptible to pollution and trash. When you explore a beach, rocky shores or tide pools, leave shells for the hermit crabs. Collect any trash you see and volunteer to help conserve this fascinating ecosystem. Thank you very much, guys, for exploring with me in this episode. And I really had so much fun exploring this intertidal zone and spray zones. And never forget that intertidal zones are ecosystem too. This is a home to a lot of living things and non-living organisms. So don't forget to take care of it because this is where they build their habitat. Until next time, bye-bye! Bye-bye!